Hi everyone, welcome to December. I thought it would be fun to paint a little something different today, so I thought we'd paint a stack of presents. I sketched this out a little bit, and I'm not sure if you can see it. These are very rough lines, but I have basically a large rectangular present. I have sort of a tall one here standing upright, and then two smaller ones with a little square one on top. So I thought we'd do this kind of like brown paper packages. So I'm going to use mostly yellow ochre with a little bit of browns and then probably some reds and maybe greens. We could mix in so we have some traditional color, but let's just see where it goes. So I have my watercolor paper. I have my watercolor brushes, just a round brush. This is a size 6 or 8. And get your fresh water and your paper towels for blotting. So I want to start off with the base one here. And we're going to start off with a wet on dry technique, and then we're going to blend. So I'm going to start off with yellow ochre and see how that looks. And I'm going to start off by outlining our edges. Right. So I'm just going to go and do the 4 sides. These are not going to be perfectly square or rectangular. I'm not great at straight lines. That's why I normally paint florals, because straight lines are not that easy, but I think this will be fun without straight lines. All right, I'm going to fill the center with water now. And you could use a bigger brush for this part if you want to. Okay, if there's some space that doesn't get perfectly filled in. I kind of always like that look where it's not precise. All right, and I just want to go over the edges again here, just to darken the sides. All right. Okay. So I do want a little bit more color, I think. So I'm going to pull a little bit more color in, probably from the edges here. All right. Yeah, I like the look of that. All right. So the issue next is that we can't, if we paint these 2 presents that are touching this one, we'll be in trouble because they'll bleed together, right? Because they're absolutely sitting on top of each other. So let's paint this little square guy next. So I'm gonna mix a little bit of a darker brown in here. I think that's just whatever I have in my palette, but it looks like a raw umber, just to make this a little darker.
All right, now we just need to let these 2 dry before we can start our next ones.
All right, let's continue on. Try to draw a straight line here. And we won't stress too much about how straight it is. And here's what I've decided we are gonna do. These 4 little packages, and then we're gonna decorate them or tie them up, I guess, with traditional colors. So if you have gouache, red, green, white in particular, grab that. If you don't, we can still do this with watercolor. So don't stress too much if you don't have gouache. You can use watercolor if you have white ink. That can be really good for the white parts that we'll do.
So let's go ahead and get this guy all completed, and then we'll start on our decorations on the lower one.
Okay, so what I'd like to do now is maybe on the large one, like a traditional cross, of colors. Let's go ahead and get a size 2 paintbrush, and let's get some dark green gouache. So this is going to be probably like a sap, but maybe mixed with an olive, something like that. Or just get some sap green, hooker's green, undersea green, whatever color watercolor you like. And that's gonna work fine too. So I'm gonna start with my middle line this way, and then we'll do our crossbar. So I think that's cute. That's our first little one. Let's go up to this guy and we'll do him in red. All right, so red gouache, I would use sort of a crimson and or scarlet lake. Let's do this guy a little different. Let's do 2 diagonal things, if that makes sense. So one line here. We can make that more precise in a minute. And like one here, as if the ribbon was wrapped around. Okay. So I think this one's dry enough. Let's go ahead and fill in this guy. We're gonna have to be careful not to touch our red and green, but let's go ahead and paint this present. Okay, this one's pretty dry, so let's decorate this one now. I'm gonna use white gouache for this. Okay, so I'm just gonna do a line straight down here. Again, we'll try to be as straight as we can. All right, that looks pretty good. Let's do the crossbar on it. This guy's basically dry, so let's do him in white as well. And what we're gonna do is do like, it's kind of a short one here and then a long one this way. And then we'll decide kind of what kind of bows or extra fun things we want to add. Let's go back to our first one here and take some of our red. Let's make a couple little holly berries, and then we'll do maybe some little white like piney things or something, just to add some decorations to these, okay? All right, so I'm gonna put it this way, I think. A little red berry here, and a little red berry here. And let's just do 2 little white like leaves. Let's do a little 2-part leaf, and then I'm gonna add one over here. Just a little leaf coming in, and I'm not touching my red berries because that will probably run. Okay, so maybe you can see that, and as it dries, I think it'll show up better.
Now let's look at our red package and decide what we want to do with him.
So I was thinking a bow would be cute. So I'm gonna go, well, let's see if my brush is wet enough here. 1, 2, 3. There. And I think that that's pretty cute. We'll have to decide if we want to add some greenery to that. Now this guy over here is dry as well. Maybe let's do some pine and berries on this one. So while I have my red, I might as well keep it going. Right in the center, I think, let's do 3 berries. 1, 2, and they don't have to be perfectly round. Don't worry about that. 3, okay. 3 little berries here. And then let's get our green. So let's start with pine, and if it doesn't work, we'll turn it into a leaf. So pine is like a little, you know what I'm gonna do? Okay, I'm gonna get my, see this brush? This is a liner. It's a very, very fine point. I think because we're dealing with such a small space, we need a very teeny brush. So I'm gonna make a little line like that, and then I'm gonna make it pine. It's kind of messy, but I think it worked. Okay. Right? I hope you can see that. I'll zoom in for you. So it's a line like that. And then you just draw your little pine needles off the sides. That's fun, right? Should we do one more? Let's do one more. Let's do one right here. Oh, I made a mess there, but that's okay. Don't worry about it. Let's keep going. Oh, too fat. It's okay. He's just a little bit pinier pine. Okay, so I like that guy. I think he's fun. I feel like this guy needs some green leaves on him, so let's go back here. I'm gonna go back to my 2 again. I'm just gonna add 2 little leaves like this. Like that. You know, I might do is add a couple white berries to him in a minute. We'll see how that dries. All right, our last one is almost dry. So on this one, I am gonna try to do some little holly leaves, and I think I can use my 2 for it. And again, if the shape starts getting mushed, then we'll just turn them into regular leaves and we won't worry about it. But I'm gonna try to do 2 little holly leaves. And the way I do those is two little curve shapes, and then we bring them out like this, right? And then we bring them to the top. So not too bad, and then we'll just fill this in. It's a basic holly. It's hard to do it this small, but I think you get the idea. Let's do one more of those, and then we'll add some berries, okay? Get the idea of the shape there, and then let's add some, let's add some red berries. Let's keep our theme going here. Okay, cute. I think I want one more holly leaf there though. And then I also want to add some white berries up here. I think just one will do the trick there. You can do a little trick here too, just for something fun. I'm gonna take my pointer, my liner, and get all the green off of it. And I'm gonna just dab it in the white gouache, and I'm gonna make little marks on my berries, which will make them look like they have a little shine on them. I can't do it to these yet because they're still wet, but I will add those when I'm done. honestly guys, I think we're good to go. I think we're done. I hope you enjoyed painting your brown paper packages and decorating them with me. I hope you will post them on Instagram and tag me at Sweet Seasons Art. I'd love to share them in my stories. I hope you will check out my Skillshare classes. Just search Sweet Seasons Art on Skillshare. There's lots of holiday classes to take there, from pine trees to Christmas ornaments to holly and berries and even poinsettia. Happy painting and happy holidays.